Welcome learners. We are in the class of colon classification practice. We are doing colon classification 6th edition in the course knowledge organization classification practice under the discipline Bachelor of Library and Information Science. The topic of today's session is how we can synthesize class numbers for the subjects in biosciences according to colon classification 6th edition. In the colon classification 6th edition, more precisely the 1963 reprint, the classes capital G to capital L, that is from the main class biology to medicine, constitute the generic class called biosciences or biological science. Biological sciences is the study of living organisms and how they work. Today's session introduces you with the facet structure and canonical synthesis of class numbers in the biological sciences such as the basic classes biology, geology, mining, botany, zoology, agriculture, animal husbandry, medicine, pharmacognosy. The structure of main classes, canonical divisions, systems and special facets of these classes will be illustrated along with worked out examples. In these basic classes, the basic class geology and mining generally come under the discipline earth sciences, which in turn comes under the purview of physical sciences. But as it is considered within the generic class biological sciences or biosciences in colon classification, we will discuss the main classes geology and mining in this session. The different basic classes and their characteristics and features, facets, isolates will be discussed in today's class. The generic class biology, covering the common aspects of different branches of biology, also is treated as one of the basic class and with the same digit capital G. The personality facet enumerates the isolates for the organ and special grouping for different kinds of life in the basic class biology. The energy facet is the problem facet denoting the biological activities, and in this main class second round material may be required to be added in case for some energy isolates or any of their subdivisions such as metabolism, inanition, water fasting, fasting. The second round material here is called the substance facet, and the isolates are to be obtained from the main class chemistry. The isolates may be sharpened if required by subject device. We present here one example, that is effect of uranium on tissues, and the colon number has been worked out here. Another noteworthy point in this class is that the isolates from 1 to 1,8 or 5 or its subdivisions in the energy facet when used may be sharpened by space isolate, and the space isolate is to be added immediately after the energy isolate noted here. These isolates from 1 to 1,8 or the isolate 5 or its subdivision are 1,2 natural history, 1,3 popular description, 1,4 picture, 1,7 collecting, 1,8 list, and 5 ecology. So, these isolates are to be sharpened by space facet, by space isolate, and the space isolate is to be added immediately after these isolates from the energy facet. Here we present one example: conservation of wildlife in Indian forests. Here we are getting in the energy facet 5 to 7. So the space isolate will sharpen the energy isolate here, that is conservation 5 to 7, and the class number we are getting here G colon 5 to 7 sharpened by space isolate for India, and after that the second round space isolate, that is forest F, small f. In the similar way, the class number for the title Journal of Coastal Lives in India is worked out as biology, then coastal ecological group, and then natural history from the energy isolate, from the energy facet 1 2, and 1 2 again is to be sharpened by the space isolate. Here it is for India 4 4, and finally the class number will be capital G 95531 colon 12.44. Then we have to add ACI as in the title, and then we have to add ACI as in the title. Next we move on to main class geology. Main class geology in CC 6th edition has been divided in the first instance into its canonical classes. These are mineralogy, petrology, structural geology, dynamic geology, stratigraphy, paleontology, economic geology, cosmic hypothesis. For mineralogy, denoted by H1, or petrology H2, or economic geology H7, the personality facet determines substance which may be obtained from the enumeration in the concerned schedule or from e-chemistry as per rule. For this, see rule H1, H11, H711 in the same chapter in part 1, that is in the page number 1.80 and 1.81. Personality facet for main class economic geology is to be obtained following the rules H1 and H11. Moreover, the element the presence of which makes the ore economically valuable should be used as personality facet in H7, that is economic geology. The energy facet in case of all the canonical classes of the basic class geology are enumerated in their respective schedules. Here we present the examples. Take one example, that is gold ores in Bihar under the canonical class mineralogy H1, and then in the personality facet we get the notation for gold 118, and it is to be obtained from the main class e-chemistry as instructed, and then we are having the isolate from energy facet occurrence, that is 155. Therefore the class number will be H1118 colon 155. In the similar way, here we synthesize the colon number for the subject natural history of sapphire, and we find it H1922 colon 12. Here natural history, the notation is to be obtained from the energy facet of the main class biology as instructed. Canonical class H6 paleontology signifies paleozoology. Therefore, the personality facet of H6 paleontology should be sharpened by the natural group number of main class K zoology. Here the example is cited Silurian paleozoology. So paleozoology, the canonical class will be H6, and Silurian age, the notation will be 823 as instructed in the rule 868U in chapter H in part 1. Therefore, the class number will be capital H6 single inverted comma A23. The rule is clearly stated there that in the case of descriptive paleontology, the paleontological surveys, whenever warranted, the focus in time isolate should be the one for the appropriate stratigraphical age given as subdivision of H5 stratigraphy and not one taken from the chronological schedule. And finally, capital A should replace capital H5. Thus, we get from the stratigraphy the notation for Silurian age replacing H5 A23. Another example is here fossils of ceratopsian dinosaurs prevalent in Cretaceous period. A study for this, the main class or the canonical class will be the paleontology from the main class geology, and ceratopsian dinosaur, the notation will be obtained from the personality facet, and Cretaceous period, the notation will be obtained from the H5 stratigraphy and not from the chronological table or time isolates there. And here we get the notation for Cretaceous period is A34 and A is taken replacing H5. So the class number is H69457 apostrophe A34. Next we move on to main class mining. Mining signifies the practical mineralogy. It deals with different procedural aspects of ore extraction. The personality facet deals with the substance which forms the ore. The substance which form the essential constituent of the ore, that is the substance whose presence makes the ore economically valuable, should be used as the focus in the substance facet. P2 facet is the part of the work and is enumerated in the schedule. This facet is the same as H7 economic geology, which in turn is to be formed from E chemistry as instructed under the rule H11 in page 1.80 in part 1 of CC 6th edition. Energy facet enumerates the isolates which deal with procedure and activities related to the works in mining. This deals with the basic processes, dressing and cleaning of ores, dangers and health and safety measures in mining. Here we present an example, that is statistics of accidents in coal mining tunnel in India in the year 2005. Here we see the economic geology. Here, following the rules, we get the notation capital H capital Z 740 comma 3 colon 44 dot 44 apostrophe capital P05 and finally the ACI small s for statistics, stress statistics. You are instructed to follow the rules for solving this problem, and here it is instructed to see chapter 8 of the rules. So in the rules part in 8 it has been stated clearly that HZ1 is similar to the rule of H711. So finally we have to follow the rules from the main class Geology, and that is also from H711, that is Economic Geology. Here, following the rules, we get the notation capital H capital Z 740 comma 3 colon 44 dot 44 apostrophe capital P05, and finally the ACI small s for statistics, stress statistics. Next we move on to the main class Botany. Botany is the main class for the isolates in studies of plants. The facet formula is I, then P, P2, then colon E to P. Here P facet enumerates the isolates for natural group of plants. This grouping is based upon the principles of plant taxonomy, and isolates are denoted by botanical name to maintain the standard vocabulary. P2 enumerates different organs of plants spanning from the cellular level to organ systems. Energy facet is same as that of the main class G biology, with the enumeration of 8 paleobotany. Here we present one example, that is physiology of roots of climber plants. So the creeper we get from the main class I botany, from the personality facet 952 creeper, then its root from the second level personality facet indicated by the notation 13, and physiology comes under energy facet from the main class biology, and it is indicated by the notation 3. Therefore the class number will be I 952, 13 colon 3. An index to the natural group in the personality facet is given to assist the classifier who are not proficient in scientific names of the natural groups of plants. Next, main class agriculture. Agriculture is a very interesting class. Here a device has been introduced so that notation for a particular entity in personality facet can be constructed if required beyond the isolates enumerated in the schedule. The facet formula is as JP to P. The facet formula is JP colon E to P. In P facet, the notation for a particular entity in P facet has been devised by grouping together at least 3 digits. These digits are obtained mainly from different arrays of the personality facet. The first digit comes from utility array. The isolates of this array signify utility purpose of plants. The foci in this array are considered as decoration. The foci in this array are considered as decoration, feed, food, stimulant, oil, drug, fabric, dye, tan, adhesive, manure, vegetable, sugar. The second digit denotes the part of a plant. The isolates come from the part array of personality facet. The isolates of this array as enumerated in the schedule are sap, bulb, root, stem, leaf, flower, fruit, etc. The subsequent digits represent the genus and species of both, that is, the cultivar also may be called as cultivated variety. The grouping in genus and species are enumerated based upon the favored category principle. For example, 3 in utility array signifies food. 8 in part array signifies seed. Therefore, 3, 8 signifies seeds used as food. Under 3, 8, the grouping of cultivars are based upon genus is according to the favored category device. That is 381 rice, 382 wheat, 383 oats, 384 rye, 385 corn, 386 barley, 387 millet. An adequate number of isolates enumerated in P of agriculture, and if required, new isolate numbers in this facet may be synthesized based on this mechanism of group notation and thereafter favored category device. The foci in energy facet, foci in second round personality facet, and foci in second round energy facets are enumerated distinctively. This is also a noteworthy feature of this main class. It should be enumerated that without the presence of the isolates from energy facet, the isolates from second round energy facet cannot be used. It should be remembered that without the presence of the isolates from first round energy facet, the isolates from second round energy facet cannot be used for constructing class number. Here we present an example, fungal diseases in the potatoes. For potato, the standard term is Solanaceae, that is the botanical term. So here we have to go to the main class agriculture and we will get from the personality facet the notation for Solanaceae, that is potato, that and it will be, and it is 341, and disease is denoted in the energy facet as 4, and then in the second round personality facet we get fungus 33. So fungal diseases in potatoes will be J341 colon 433. Here we present another example, cold storage of apple in India in summer season. Learners are requested to follow this example carefully. Here main class agriculture, then apple in the personality facet with all part and whole numbers, with apple is 371 from the personality facet with utility and part array, and then harvesting from the energy facet 7, though it is not mentioned, but without harvesting storing cannot be done. So we have to, before we have to find out the first round energy before we assign the second round energy notation. So the class number will be J371 colon 7 colon 84.44 apostrophe N3 for the summer in the second level time notation. Okay, after this we move on to main class zoology, denoted by the digit capital K. It is another branch of biological sciences. It deals with the isolates of studies in animal kingdom. The facet formula is given. P is the natural group facet. The grouping of isolates is based upon the scientific principles as adopted in the study of zoology, but the divisions are worked out only up to subordered stage, and further subdivisions may be carried out up to family stage of the animals. P2 is the organ facet, similar as that of Botany. Its isolates are same as the personality facet of main class L medicine. Rules and schedules for energy facets are same as the main class G biology. In addition, energy facet enumerates relation to young ones 591 and courting 595, etc. Here we present examples. Coral reefs of the Indian Ocean, their ecology and conservation. Corals come under the suborder Anthozoa, and Anthozoa we get the notation from the personality facet 4-5 in the main class K Zoology, and then from the biology class we get notation for conservation in the energy facet, and then Indian Ocean and from the space facet. Therefore, the class number is K45:527.95. Here, next, the main class KZ animal husbandry. It is very much similar with the main class agriculture in respect to rules for formation of facets and synthesizes their class numbers. One example is shown here. Cow feeding in winter will come under the main class animal husbandry, and the other isolates comes under different facets, like cow from personality facet, feeding will come under the energy facet, and as we know winter will come under the second level time facet. Next we move on to the main class medicine. Medicine gives schedules for isolates dealing with human disease and their prevention and remedial measures. For this class, the personality facet enumerates the body parts, the organ number 1 being devoted to the regional division of the human body. The special properties of the cells or tissues of a particular organ or the parts of the functional organs within a regional system may be derived by applying superimposition device. Different systems and specializations in medical sciences have been enumerated to be treated as amplified basic class 1 systems and kind 2 specials. The energy facets enumerates isolates in the aspects of biological malfunction and different parts of organs. An illustrative list of specific kinds of diseases with their class number is given at the end of the subdivisions of the 2P for food disease. Here we present some examples. Diagnosis of viral infection or in lungs, main class medicine, then lung in the personality facet, then disease in the energy facet, and then viral infection in the second round personality facet, and diagnosis is denoted in the second round energy facet, and thus with the notations in each facet of the respective isolates, the class number will be formed as L45:423:3. Again another example is here, diet regulation in intestinal infection. Intestine is 2-5 in the personality facet of main class medicine. Then disease in the energy facet denoted by 4. Infection in the second round personality facet in the and is denoted by the digit 2, and the diet regulation is denoted in the second round energy facet, and the class number and the notation is 8. Therefore, the class number is L25:4:2:8. Here one example with both system and special facets. Cure of insomnia in war affected people by naturopathy. So, system facet naturopathy and war is special facet war medicine. So, system facet will be LM, then L9V, therefore the class number will start as LM, 9V, then comma 7 the personality facet, then colon 4 disease, and 2P over functioning 5-2, then again colon 6 for cure in the second round energy facet. In this class, we have discussed some of the main classes in biological sciences. The generic class biology covers the basic classes biology, geology, mining, botany, agriculture, zoology, animal husbandry, medicine, pharmacognosy. In colon classification, the basic class geology and mineralogy have been dealt under the generic class biosciences, although it may be treated as under the discipline art sciences, which in turn may be treated as physical sciences. But we have discussed the canonical divisions of these basic classes. The facet structure and synthesis of class numbers have been explained with suitable examples. The application of parallel divisions used to identify the energy isolates of biological sciences, and all these rules, all these and the applications of rules and instructions are shown along with quite numbers of examples. That is all for today's class. Thank you.